Hi, I'm Paul Barrett from NetVPro IT Services. What I do is I'm the Chief Technology Officer. I come up with all the solutions.
And I'm Keith Swingle. I'm the dancing monkey. Or I do business development. One or the two. It depends on the day. We provide services?
First off, we provide virtual desktops, backup as a service, white glove backup as a service, and then, of course, traditional help desk.
We do full stack IT services, so anything from the technology Paul mentioned to application development and staff augmentation and help desk support.
So, my perfect customer is a manufacturer facility that trusts us and believes in us.
Yeah, we service many verticals. We focus on manufacturing. We also do healthcare and those, but mostly covered entities because covered entities have those types of needs.
Abrupt, gruff, and can be funny.
My friends would describe me as handsome, intelligent, and gassy. They like to think of us as thunder and lightning. Paul and I both have, enterprise experience, and one of the things that we discovered early on is that a lot of times small to medium-sized businesses don't get the opportunity to have enterprise class solutions. It's important to us to be able to bring that large-scale thinking, that enterprise class thinking, the high availability and redundancy and those types of things, business continuity, to the small to medium-sized business where they have never thought of themselves in that way before, and that's something that we both find very rewarding. Our first question is, how can we help?
My background is actually electronics, and I always tell people that I can understand computers at the ones and zeros level, literally, because that's how I studied. That's our approach, is figuring out where the problem's at and resolving it, and that's the bottom line.
The thing that I love most about the team and the people I work with is that most of them are in Florida. We are a group of lifelong learners. Everybody is very focused on helping the customer. This has been one of the best environments I've worked in, where everybody is focused on positive energy, and from a customer perspective, having an IT provider where everybody just cares. Bad jokes. They can count on an organization focused on their needs. What I'm going to say is truth. And that sometimes can be uncomfortable, but I think that it's very important to both Paul and I that what we share with our customers is the truth. It's happened more than once where we've encountered and gained a new customer when they were in the throes of a security issue. They had a provider who abandoned them. We've had that happen where their provider literally abandoned them during the middle of an issue. So, it's kind of, as we alluded to earlier, the concept of how can we help? We get a call, a panic call, could be at 3 or 4 in the morning. That customer is in need at that point. So, it's kind of, there's the help piece that immediately stops the bleeding, right? We put the bandage on the sucking chest wound and we take care of that. But then what we do is we help them implement the prudent measures to save and keep their business ongoing. Maybe they weren't given the best advice to start from, but it kind of gets back to the truth. For us to be able to help that customer, in a real world example, get their business back, and then what's the forward look? What does the technology roadmap look like?
It's so true. I've gotten the call. Keith's gotten the call in the middle of the night. What do we do? And we jump on it. We handle it. They don't take their technology as seriously as they think they should. A lot of times they're penny wise but pound foolish.
Get a pet dragon. Okay, there's two things. One is, don't assume that you're too small with the world as it is today. Big or small, the bad guys love them all. Moats don't work. building a moat around the castle. That doesn't work. You need to think in layers, and you need to think in recovery. Businesses, a lot of times they're told that silver bullets exist and that they can protect themselves if they do just this one thing. That's just really not true. We need to think in terms of layers and recovery, not moats.
Well, what I can start with what kept me up at night is having somebody watching our infrastructure, our technology 24/7. So I enlisted a cybersecurity SOC operations center, and so they watch everything 24/7, send alerts, shut down environments. That's what kept me up at night.
Have a drink of this. Well, when I meet with a business owner and they have frustrations, really, to be honest, what I say is, what hurts? Asking that question and then being quiet and using your ears reveals a lot about what that business owner, that business leader is experiencing, and they'll articulate where the challenges are, and then then we can devise a plan from that. Well, one of the challenges I think that businesses face is that there's 200 of us every day calling them, right? And they're being told things that they maybe want to hear. And we kind of got into it a little bit earlier about the difference in NetVPro is we tell them what they need to hear, and just having a source of truth and maybe speaking those difficult things so that they have a sense of being able to get the answers that they need to run their business, right? And truth is the foundational piece of that. Everybody makes mistakes, and sometimes even the best providers can have errors and can have an uncomfortable situation, but that foundation of trust allows that customer to have faith in you as an individual, as a provider. Trust piece of it is just so foundational to your relationship today and going forward, and your ability to be that trusted advisor to help that customer not only with their problems today but the challenges tomorrow and their vision for tomorrow. Not necessarily the products that are in your technology stack, because every provider has a technology stack, but to make recommendations that are right for their business. Customers understand and see that. They know when you're thinking about them and their space and their world and what helps them as a business.